All right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We are super excited to chat with you today about how to make Scribenote feel more native in your PIMS. So I'm sure people will roll in the meantime, but we know how important your time is, and we certainly don't want to waste any of it. So welcome. My name is Allie Aspen. I am the Customer Experience Product Manager here at Scribenote. My colleague Charlotte is also here, and she'll be helping as well. Charlotte, if you want to say hi and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Charlotte. I'm on Scribenote's marketing team, and I'm really excited to see you all and to show you how cool our PIMS integrations are. So I'll let Allie get started.
Awesome. Thanks, Charlotte. So today, as you guys know, we will be talking about how to make Scribenote feel more native in your practice information management system, otherwise known as your PIMS. And in the next 20 minutes, you will understand which solution that we offer that suits your system best. So we're super excited to also give you a little bit of a background about who we are if you're not already familiar with us. Also talk about sort of what the problem is that we're even trying to solve here with our solutions and what our philosophy has been around solving them. And then from there, we'll just do a brief overview of each solution and then show you how to use them. And we'll open the floor for some questions from there. So we're super excited, and we will start from here with just getting a quick poll out to understand what PIMs you guys are currently using. So feel free to take a second and answer. All right. So it looks like we can take a look at our poll. Let's see. Cornerstone, Vetspire, Cornerstone, Pulse, Avamarks, and Cornerstone. Okay, excellent. So it looks like we have a pretty decent split of our browser-based and our PIMS-based PIMS. So that's, or sorry, our browser-based and our server-based PIMS. I'm really excited to see that. You guys will have an idea of what works for both. So excellent. All right. So to start, we wanted to give you a little bit of a background about who we are. And so we are clinical people. We are scrubs. We are not suits. And as you can see, our team loves being in the hospital, and our focus is entirely on just being at the center of everything that you guys do every day. It gives us a really great understanding of what problems you're facing, first of all, and then how to solve them in a way that's practical. And so you can see we have some really cool pictures of our team here. Charlotte's in one of them as well. She's so cute. But our team loves it. And yeah, so it's always fun for us to get up close and personal with everything that you guys are doing. And in doing that, some of the common pain points around integration and around making this type of software feel very native within the PIMS are, that have been sort of concentrated into the following. First and foremost, you guys are already managing a ton of systems. We know between your practice management system and IDEX and radiology softwares and all these other things, it's a lot to manage. And so we always know that that is one of the common pain points is we don't want to add on another one. Um, and then from there, we know some of the solutions can be slow, sometimes they're unreliable. And so that's another thing we're always thinking about is how to make it as smooth and easy and of course efficient as possible. And of course easy to use. We know oftentimes the systems that you currently have are pretty complex. And so our goal is always to smooth that out as well. And then if they even offer an integration with your system, we know sometimes they don't. That can also be an added challenge of saying, like, I really need this thing, but it doesn't integrate with Cornerstone or with EasyVet or whatever. And so these are just sort of the things that we have had top of mind. We'd love to hear from you with another poll, actually, to understand what of these four have you experienced any of them? Because it's always good, it's good for us to know and understand. Limited integrations. Hear that. That's always a tough one. Too many systems, yep. Slow and unreliable. The radiology service comes to mind frequently for me from back in my clinical days. That one was always it can be a bit of a challenge. I'd also love to hear in the chat if there's anything that you think is missing from this. because it's very insightful and it really helps us to understand, if there's something that we're not addressing, how can we help you better? Um, so thank you. This is super interesting. And so going off of that, our integration philosophy here at Scribenote really fall into these four buckets. First and foremost, we don't force a one size fits all. Our solutions try to cross multiple workflows. We try to make them as customizable as possible so that you're able to pick the one that works best for you and use it in a way that makes sense to you and fits your workflow. We also, of course, support both browser and server-based PIMS. We know because of, as we could see from our previous poll, the split. It is really helpful to be able to cover both. They're still both very relevant. And of course, we're always working to innovate and push the boundaries of what we're able to do and how we can support you better. And last but not least, keeping things as straightforward as possible with minimal clicks, minimal disruption to your current workflow, and really keeping things very, very smooth, very straightforward, and quite intuitive for you as well. And really, the key takeaway here is that everybody gets the same result and the same feeling, but it just depends on number one, how you want to use it and what your PIMS is able to support as well. So, our goal is always to give you a lot of that flexibility there. All right, so our two options that we have today are widget mode, which is built for our server-based or desktop PIMs, it's fantastic. If any of you are familiar with our previous desktop widget, the draggy droppy click to copy, my favorite name of all time of any feature we've had. This one is very similar to that, so it should bring back some memories there, which is cool. And then our newest and most innovative solution so far is our PIMSpal. That one is designed for our browser-based PIMS. It lives in the browser and it's quite fast, it's quite streamlined. And so some things to keep in mind. Most practices only need one of these options. It's up to you. You don't have to only choose one, but certainly, based on what your preferences are, of course, what your PIM support, one is typically going to fit you best versus the other. And the right choice, again, it depends on your PIMS. It doesn't depend on your practice size. You and your colleague actually could even use completely different ones if you're both using the same PIMS and capable of doing so. And we're here to help, last but not least. Your customer experience team and your product team here. We'd love to guide you. So any questions that you have, we're excited to hear them and get you some help and some answers. All right, so first and foremost, we are going to dive into widget mode. So you can use widget mode for any PIMS. It is the best option, again, for your server-based PIMS. And this is what it looks like. If you're used to the desktop download that we used to have, this is a very similar setup. So you'll already sort of have some experience with it, which is exciting. And I am going to show you. And as you can see, we work with Avamark, Cornerstone, any of your server-based or desktop PIMs. We know those are two of the most popular ones. And moving over here, what is it? I feel like we get that question a lot, like especially with the widget. What is a widget? And so a widget, and what widget mode means for us is it's a widget within the Scribenote dashboard. So you don't have to download anything. You don't have to have anything external. You can click on the button and the widget will pop up for you and you can move it around your screen. Super flexible and easy. And really, why should you use it? It simplifies integration. You can very easily drag and drop all of your information into your PIMS, and it works with anyone. So you have a ton of flexibility. And this is just a list of some of the PIMS that it covers, but of course, you can use it with the majority of them. And now I'm going to show you how to use it. So if we navigate to your Scribenote dashboard, you can see over here, right on the top of your inbox, here I can zoom in a little bit, you can see widget mode. So all you have to do to use it is click on that, and then you get this fun little window that floats around your screen. And so you can see here, I have the list of my appointments, and then you can even search them. So if you're on a team, you can go through, your own team. You can go through, any of your teammates' notes as needed. And then when you're ready, so say we want to transfer, we can transfer my friend Henry here. I'm going to open my test PIMS. All you have to do is drag and drop right into your PIMS. And so you're able to go through and within each section, if you would like, drag and drop. You can also click. So once you have clicked on the box that you're looking for, you can then either right click and paste, or of course, like a Command V, something like that. But it's super easy, very intuitive. And if you wanted to go even and pull your whole soap in, all you have to do is drag and drop your full soap. And you can see here that we have everything. So depending on, the layout of your medical record, it will depend on how you want to use it and what works best for you. You're also able to, if you click this down arrow, you can go in and preview the content, which is super cool. And then if you want to make any changes, say you're in here and you see the patient has been receiving, sodium chloride, but you really wanted them, you recognize that they're actually on LRS. You want to change that. No big deal. Just hit this button here, our little pencil, and you can go in, you can really easily make that edit within Scribenote and say LRS, right? And then you can go back to your PIMS, and then just for fun, we're going to put it in our objective, drag and drop, and you'll see that update right there. So very easy, it's very streamlined. And then if you have any client summary, so for those of you who have tested out our, especially our new client summary, definitely do. It's super awesome. But you can bring that in as well. So you can just drag and drop right there. Excellent. And so we would love to understand how you're feeling about this. So we have yet another poll to understand how easy this is seeming to you so far. I'm excited to also get some feedback within our Q&A as well. But feel free to fill out this guy really quick too.
What's really cool about widget mode is that once it's open, it lays on top of your desktop. So as you can see, Allie still has widget mode open and it's on top of her slides now. So if you're using Cornerstone or Avamark, you can leave Scribenote in the browser and then hop over to your PIMS, but that widget still stays there. That's what I think is the coolest about widget mode.
Yes, thank you for calling that out, Charlotte. That's so important because it is really nice that you can continue to kind of work on whatever you're doing and still have it there. It makes it pretty convenient. Is widget mode different than the app? That's a really great question. So, yes, because widget mode you use on the web app. So, if you use on the website and you log into your dashboard here, that is where you'll get widget mode. So, we don't currently have widget mode for mobile, but that's a great question.
But I suppose like when you record a note on mobile, it would reflect in widget mode once you get on the computer. Is that right, Allie?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep, that will update in real time. And then you can transfer it really easily using widget mode. Very cool. So it looks like mostly easy to use, a little bit of neutral, that's fair. Sometimes these things are, it's hard to tell until you get your hands on it. So we understand that too. But thank you for your feedback. That's helpful. All right, next we're going to move on to our PIMS pal. Just gonna move this guy. All right. So our PIMS pal is, whoops, widget mode. Hang on over there. Our PIMSpal is very cool. It's quite different than our widget mode, and it feels a little bit more as though it's integrated into your actual PIMS, which is interesting. This one is only supported right now for the browser-based PIMS. Um, and this is a quick picture of it here, but I'll certainly do a little bit deeper dive in once we get to the demo. Okay, so what is it exactly? Our PIMSpal is a Chrome extension, so you can use it within Chrome and Edge. And it is our most intuitive integration. We initially launched it with Covetrus Pulse and EasyVet, so it does have some extra functionality there that is super cool, like patient detection and a couple other things. that are also coming to our PIMSpal for all browser-based PIMS. So here's a quick list on the right of some of those PIMS. I'm sure you guys already know, and you listed some here, so that's very exciting to see. And so how do you set it up? It's very straightforward. All you have to do is in the Chrome Web Store, search for the Scribenote PIMSpal. From here, what you can do is hit Add to Chrome. You'll get prompted with the Add extension. Add. Perfect. And then you'll see up here on the top right that Scribenote PIMSpal has been added to Chrome, so it's there now. And then when you're ready to use it, you can move over to your PIMS, click this puzzle piece, which is where you'll see all of your extensions, not just PIMSpal, of course. And then you want to enable PIMSpal on this page. Hit enable. Great. So now it knows that we are in the PIMS and it's ready to go. And so we can log in. So I'm going to log into my account real quick. Actually, yeah. Excellent. So now when we click into our PIMS, it knows that we're in there. It's really great at detecting which box that you're in. So understanding which text fields you can see I'm in this objective, so it's picking up that. But essentially what you're seeing right here is an overview of the medical record that we have selected. And to change that medical record, so right now we're looking at Navy May. This is the subjective, because that is what is selected here. And then if we wanted to change that, you can go through, and this is your Scribenote inbox here. So you can go through and select whichever one you would like. So maybe we're going to look at, we can look at our dental, really whichever one you'd like. I think I'm going to stick with Navy because that one's pretty filled out. And then you can go in and again, if it's correct and you're on, you're on your subjective and you don't want to pull in any other sections, then all you have to do is hit import here. However, one important thing to mention is I know a very common workflow in our vet hospitals is that you have your technicians go into the room and maybe they're taking notes in these sections before you get into the room and you're writing any notes. So if you do have notes here, so we'll put in just a quick TPR. We'll say, I don't know, 100, 25. This button here, so this checkbox is an overwrite. And so this is asking it is not checked right now, and it's asking if we want to replace the existing content. So we're not going to check that. We're going to say no because we want to maintain those notes. So when we hit import, it'll import it below. Definitely something, if that is your workflow, that is very helpful because we certainly don't want to lose anything there. But if you decide that you do want to overwrite it, you can absolutely do that as well. Just hit replace and then import it, and there you go. And then whenever you're ready, what you can do, and you can adjust this size here as needed. And if this is ever in your way, we have this great little toggle up here on the top right-hand corner. You can also hide it. So if you're actually wanting to look at, you click into your text fields and this is dropped down, but you want to see the assessment below, no big deal. Toggle it out of your way and it'll hide there until you toggle it back down. So then when we're ready to move on, you can see now that PIMSpal has picked up that we're in the objective. It is prompted with our objective section for this particular medical record. And now we're going to hit import. So there we go. Great. And again, you can feel free to move this around. Great. And then whenever you're ready, whoop, and you click down, it'll follow you as you click around. So uh, you don't have to close it to navigate if you don't want to. Sometimes it's kind of nice because you can look, or you can move the box physically if you would like as well. It's totally up to you. Say if I want to tuck it over here, it'll stay over there so that when we're ready to do the plan, see our plan's ready to go, hit import, and we're good to go. All right, excellent. And so we're going to send out a quick poll on that one as well to get an understanding of how you're thinking about this one. Oh, I see there's a question in the chat. Perfect.
Yeah, there's a few questions that have come in. So
Excellent.
maybe while they're answering the poll, we can answer some of those. One of them is asking if it can be added to Edge or only Chrome. So Ali did mention at the beginning that it works with both. So you can use Edge or Chrome to use PIMSpal. Jessica's asking if any of this works with Woofware.
Mm, that's a great question. Do you want to answer, Charlotte? You can.
Oh, okay. Both PIMSpal and Widget Mode work with Woofware, so you can use both.
Wonderful. Excellent. That's so helpful. So for PIMSpal, uh, it does go section by section, but if you would like to do it here, I can actually show that. That's a great question. But if you have a PIMS, for example, that has your full soap, so say you have one giant box for all four sections, all you have to do, you can either hit select all or deselect all, whichever you would like, and then drop in the whole thing. But it will vary depending on the text fields that you have. So it's totally up to the selection and the structure of your own personal PIMS. And it said, looks like widget mode pulls over the inbox, whereas the app pulls over only ready to export. Oh, for PIMSpal, you mean? So you can actually go in and select the status that you're looking for PIMSpal to populate in with from your inbox. So you can select whichever. Excellent. So next steps from here. Oops, go over here. uh, Connect with either your customer experience team, so Charlotte or I, or our customer delight team, who is also fantastic and wonderful, to discuss your specific needs. If you have any questions beyond this and beyond, of course, our Q&A section in a minute or two. And from here, we also are going to include some resources directly from our website to any follow-up. So you can go in here. There's some details here about PIMSpal and widget mode and exporting all of your notes from here too. So Charlotte will include this in the follow-up email.
Yeah, you'll be getting a recording, some resources, and we'll also have a survey where you can leave your feedback on today's webinar so we can make the next ones even better.
Awesome. And then, of course, feel free to ask any questions during the Q&A to clarify any details for you. And if you're not yet a customer, we'll also include some details on how to book a demo with our incredible sales team. They're wonderful. They'll give you an overview, not just of our integration methods, but of course, how Scribenote works in general. So that is coming as well. All right, let's move into our Q&A. So feel free if you'd like to raise your hand and ask any questions. We'd love to hear from you. We'll go through the rest of the chat questions as well in the meantime. And to start, as far as recording goes, I would love to hear a little more about this question, VPM, if you want to come off mute and we can chat about it live, because I'm not sure I fully understand what you're looking for, but I'm happy to help. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can, yeah.
Okay. So with recording it into the app, we use tablets, and so our doctors record into the web browser. Not the app. They record into the web browser. And so those then come into the inbox, and I copy and paste them into the medical record. With Pulse, it has the ability to record directly into the exam form, into the medical note. They offer their own AIs, and honestly, it's slow. So it takes a long time to convert, and it has some mistakes. But I was wondering if there was some way for that to be recorded directly into the medical record there.
Yes. Yeah, I've got those
With
two
that
on the
integration,
shelf.
as opposed to having to record it into Scribenote browser on the dashboard and then work that over. Does that make sense?
It does, yes. Thank you for the clarification. And that's a great question. It's something that's actually on our roadmap and coming in the future and probably sooner rather than later. And we'll certainly share more details once we have them when that comes out. So thank you for that.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Yes, yes.
Okay. And then for Woofware, we just have a note here. So for PIMSpal with Woofware, you just have to enable it on the web page that you're on. So when you click on the browser plugin, you have the option to select enable for Woofware. But I will follow up with you, Jessica, with some notes on how to do that exactly. So hopefully your question will be answered then. Jennifer Knight is asking, can only completed soap show in widget mode?
No, they can be in progress as well. As long as the note has been generated and is in your inbox, you should be able to see it there.
Okay,
Great
great.
question.
Jessica's asking if we will be at WVC.
That's a good question. We were there last year. I would have to consult, and maybe if she's still on the call. Let's see, Jane Phillips, our head of sales, who I believe is actually in the building. Yay!
Okay,
Okay,
yes.
excellent.
We will be at booth 3968. Thank you so much, Jane. So I'll include that in your follow-up email, Jessica, so you can come visit us. So Jennifer says, we would love a feature to limit the mark done to the doctor that owns soap. Concerned someone may inadvertently complete a soap that a DVM hasn't reviewed. Oh,
Ooh, that's great feedback for us. That's really interesting. I like that a lot. It's certainly something that we can bring back to the team and discuss because it does almost like a sign feature, it seems like is what you're looking for, is to say like here's my like add the doctor signature and they're the ones that can kind of apply it. So thank you for that idea. I like that a lot. Oh,
uh,
hi, Annie. Thank you for
so
sharing.
VPM says if PIMSpal is activated, can one doctor use it and another not? So I think they're asking, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you're asking if it can be used by multiple people at the same time. Is that right? Can it, Allie, do you think?
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. If somebody would like to use it, if they're on a different computer, but maybe logged into like a team account or something, as long as it's downloaded onto their Chrome, they can absolutely go in there and use it. You can even use if your colleague next to you is usually using widget mode and you're using PIMSpal, that's totally great too. It's there's a lot of freedom there with personal preference.
And then VPM says, I love the new search feature, by the way. Thank you.
Oh, excellent. We're always happy to hear that and we'll certainly share that with the rest of the team.
Okay, and then Jennifer's saying that yes, she would love to initial or finalize a soap. So we will definitely pass that on to the team. JP is asking, does PIMSpal always export as soon as it's used to populate a soap?
That's a good question, actually. Are you asking if it is marked as exported as soon as you move it into the soap? Am I understanding that correctly?
I think that is, yeah, he says
Okay.
yes, and he's asking if there's a way to disable it.
Oh, okay. That's a great question. I actually, let me look into that a little bit more because I don't know if there's a way to disable that. I don't know if Charlotte, if you do, or Jane, or anyone else on the call, but not that I'm aware of, but I can certainly find out.
We will definitely follow up with you about that. Um, And then BPM is saying, so I think this is a follow-up question about multiple people using PIMSpal at the same time. We have two subs and one doctor like tech and the other doesn't. So yeah, I think this question was answered. Multiple people can use PIMSpal on one account at the same time. Is that right, Allie?
Yes.
Yes,
Yep.
okay. Okay.
Okay, notice the inbox.
Charlotte, I can jump in with the exported question here.
Yep.
PIMSpal does mark all notes as exported once you have dragged it over. You're not able to disable that feature at this time. But if you go into your Scribenote inbox, you can see your exported field and click edit on any of the notes to reopen them back up. It's just a way to essentially keep things organized in the view.
Thank you, Jane. That's so helpful.
Oh,
Awesome. We can, oh, go
Okay.
ahead, Ed.
Hey,
Mhm.
so one of my doctors has a tendency of hitting export instead of done. And so I find that I'm constantly looking for records that have been exported. So I love the search feature. But my question is there a way that I could look and see when they were exported and not necessarily the date they were created? So I can go in, like my one doctor just did a bunch of soaps 2 days ago, like about 20 of them, because she comes here once a week. And
Mm,
so they were from the past week. So I don't know which one she exported and which one she didn't because I haven't had a chance to upload them to the medical record. Does that make sense?
yes, yes, that makes sense. That was kind of the idea behind having, of course, the separation within the inbox is allowing you the ability to move it. So I certainly, I would have to follow up though if it is listed in another place as far as like a timestamp or something else. Is that what you're looking
Right.
for?
Yeah, there has to be some kind of tag. I mean, it's just a
Yeah.
0, 0 and 1 that says, oh, this was done on this date, not
Mm,
necessarily the date it was created, but the date it was exported.
yeah.
If offline, if you could get me that information, that would be amazing so that I could go in and search for those because she's done this a couple times and she's just not super tech savvy.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Let me look into that and see if there's a way that we could easily do that for you. Because right now, I do believe it's the only date and time that we show is the one with the initial recording. Oh, thank you for your email. We'll certainly take that down and include that on our follow-up with you. Because I know we can do it on the back end, but I'm just not sure if there's any place publicly that you can see it. So we'll find that out for you though. And I know there were a couple like ones and twos around PIMSpal. I would, if anybody has any feedback for us on that, I would love to hear it and either help to clear it up or just get some feedback on the functionality. Feel free to pop it in the chat, or we can, if you raise your hand, we can take you off mute too, either way. Total personal preference. All right. Well, we can give it another minute or two and see if anyone else has questions, but um, in the meantime, feel free. This is mine and Charlotte's information, and here is an email address for our amazing customer delight team. So if you do need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. As Charlotte said, she will be following up with some more resources for you on not only this, but also our adaptive templates. Because if you did not hear me initially, but there are a few questions in registration around the templates, and so we will send along some resources for those as well. But again, if you need any additional help there, to also follow up there. But thank you all so much for attending today. We will be hosting more of these, and so certainly keep an eye out. And if templates is one that's requested, we're happy to host one for that too. So thank you so much.
we did get a few more questions.
Oh, great. Okay,
Just two
perfect.
more. So Jennifer's asking if there's a simple way to combine or merge two recordings.
That's a great question. You know what? I think I actually have a short video on that I'm happy to send along. But essentially, what you can do is download the recording very easily from one and then upload it into the other recording. So that way it's all patched together as one soap and it will generate as one record. So I can send you a quick video on how to do that. Super easy.
Yeah. And then I see JP just left some feedback about the automatic export feature. So that's noted. Thank you so much for sharing that. And we will definitely pass that along to the team. And then Ed has asked that we send info on templates. So everybody's going to get some info on the templates. We know it's really popular. So don't worry about that. And then JP says drag and drop recording file is super easy and cool. Thank
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
you. Okay, that was everything.
Awesome. Excellent. Well, thank you all so much for attending and keep an eye out for our email and all the follow-up information and the recording for you.